Ben's going to join us, so
yeah,
he'll join
anybody
us.
Can join us.
Anyone can join us.
Yeah,
anyone. But let me do this.
Let's get this show going, man. Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up! Hurry up!
this is shortened version.
I'm sorry, what? Shorter version?
I hope so. Because I sit here and look like a dickhead for like a minute.
I can fix that.
Ball at the 5. That was bad. Bro, we ain't got to talk about too much. He wanted to play the ball. It's holding. Clip. How is that not called? That ain't gonna call a damn thing. What is the delay for? He's standing right there. He's taking a card out. He's a piece of paper. It's that close.
Hello and welcome. It's the Aussie Guys, and I'm AJ, and my co-host Neil is here. How are you, Neil? And I've got G on mute, which is probably we'll leave that just like that for a little while.
Hi, AJ. Good to see you.
What's the other one?
Well, now you're not mute anymore, so you can.
Oh, okay. I'm back. Okay, now, mate, they got Dare Onga, but how do you pronounce his last name?
Obonga,
whatever his name is.
Well done.
Dare, right?
Yes.
They drafted Callis Raymond in the 7th round. They've got no one else, and now they've got LaShawn McCoy.
Keyshawn Vaughn.
Yeah, Keyshawn Vaughn's on COVID. I don't know why everybody gets COVID, and all of a sudden everybody's mate. He could be all right.
He might not be. COVID. He might not have COVID. Like that designation means that he might just know someone that has COVID, and they're like being safe. So
yeah. So if you're just joining us and wondering what the hell's going on, we started a conversation. Mate, I'm trying to. I thought it didn't make me look so old. Mate, this thing makes me look old. I'm gonna get one of those. I need one of those lighting that I am.
Gee.
I need
the social influencer light.
Yes, the round ones that everybody. Yeah. It's like, mate, if I was like back on the dating scene, and you rock up to a girl's house and she's got one of those, I just do a complete 360. No, 180, 360. Do a complete 180, and I'd be out the door. I said, mate, I don't need that. I don't need that shit. Hey, Betty, how are you, buddy?
I was wondering what you were talking about, G, then. I didn't know whether it was something below the belt or above the belt.
Well, we'll get on to dogging a bit later in the show.
Looks like you're halfway through, mate.
No, we were just talking off air about. I just said, like, mate, everywhere. Like, I was looking at Twitter today to pull some things off it, and mate, I reckon the only thing being talked about at the moment is the fact that LaShawn McCoy signed for $1 million to go to Tampa Bay. Like, $1 million is like, okay, we don't really need you. Thanks very much for turning up for a little bit. And it's just as though it's almost as though Ronald Jones doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a weird one. I mean, it was a bit like what's his name turned down. Was it who turned down the money from Seattle? Was it Freeman? Your old boy Freeman turned down like $3 million or whatever from Seattle. And you think, well, is he going to get a better offer than that? And probably not. So I reckon some of it is just some of these guys taking what they can get right now, because I'm guessing that money's guaranteed, whatever it is, and is he really going to sign anywhere else at this stage? Probably not. Yeah. They're probably waiting for COVID guys to turn up so that they can then jump in. But
injuries,
injuries. But I mean, you're probably Patrick Mahomes' deal is going to be 1 in a million, right? So anybody who's going to sign a deal right now is either going to be a quarterback or probably someone like, I mean, the two that stand out are obviously Dalvin Cook at the Vikings and and George Kittle at the Niners, both probably two that you think they really want to get the long-term deal done. But apart from that, I mean, Dak maybe, like you say, it's going to be either a quarterback or, one of those guys. Everyone else, I don't know. I think that the agents need to be pretty smart about how much money they're going to get. Right, pandemic season and all that, could infer. I think, if I'm honest about the coming back to the Tampa Bay thing, I think just Arians is just like, I want every single play in the book, every guy that I can just pull on at any time to win the Super Bowl. I think he's Super Bowl or bust this year.
I think at the
end of the day,
getting Brady and what they've done, it's mate, it's every chip that I have left at the casino, I've just pushed into the middle of the table.
They've got the two. I saw a stat. They've got the two of the top 3 players in 2016 fantasy.
Who would that be?
Have they?
McCoy and Gronk, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. They do realise it's 2020.
Yeah.
That's 4 years ago. 4 years have moved on.
They've probably got two guys from the 2006 season as well, I imagine.
Probably. Who? Brady? Who'd be the other one then? It'd be Brady. Would Brady be the 2006? You're talking about, Ben?
Probably.
No? I don't know. But I was on Memphis, so I was on Dynasty Warzone during the week. And we just talking about Ronald Jones, and he was asking me what I think about Ronald Jones, and he's talking about Dare Onga. Could someone please give me his last? Onga Bola, mate, whatever. But mate, I looked up his stats. Now his stats, he's had like last year like 11 carries for 10 yards. He averaged like 1.5 yards a carry. Okay, great in the passing game, and all of a sudden all these videos emerge of people, in training camps. And as I said on that show, I'm so sick of people judging, oh, mate, look how fantastic he looks. Mate, going around witches' hats and non-movable objects, you should look absolutely sensational. Everybody should.
A bit like playing the Jets.
Mate, everybody should be doing
running around witches' hats.
Yeah, every wide receiver should be catching one-handed balls behind the back. It's just, it's ridiculous. I'm sick of people talking about it.
Three years in the NFL, Dare Abungawale. He has a grand total of 17 rushing yards.
Wow.
Okay, and this year he's breaking out.
Is that on one carry?
Okay.
Okay. No, it must be more because his average is 1.5 yards a carry.
Yeah. And what Ronald Jones? Ronald Jones had over 1,000 all-purpose yards last year. And what was it, like 7 or 8 touchdowns? And he's just disappearing. Like, I know AJ said that, everything that Bruce Arians is doing shows that he doesn't like him. But it's not like he's gone out and go, look, I really don't like this guy. I'm going to go get a second-round running back. I'm going to go really spend. I'm going to really show him that I don't like him. Well, you got Keyshawn Vaughn, but Keyshawn Vaughn's a good mover in that. But what's that?
Ronald Jones is still 3.9 yards a carry, so it's not exactly moving the chains.
Yeah, you like to be over 4. You like to be like a 4.5 sort of guy, really, as a back.
Now, I've got a few
things. But you're right, he did get over 1,000.
I have picked out a few little things that we can talk about, G, and guys. And I got a bit of a caning for not moving things along last week. How long did we go for last week, G? Was it close to 2 hours?
2 hours.
It might have been. So let me put the first one up here, and I thought I'd lead with this, seeing we've got Ben in the house, and he might have some specific comments. So this, of course, which Ben would have been cock-a-hoop about. Mr. Dalvin Cook has reported to training camp. Any comments? Surprises?
Well,
surprised?
I think maybe like 10 of our guys have got COVID, so I reckon you should just go, like leave right now, because that's not going to be good for anyone. No, I mean, look, I think that the thing with Cook, he's in that year, right? That year where this is where he gets paid. This is the one contract where he's gonna get the big money. He's probably seen Gurley, he's seen a few others get the money, whether they're good deals or not. That they're still making money. I think the Rams are paying Gurley, more than the Falcons will be through his whole contract. So, I think he's seeing it as right. Now's my time. Now's my money time. And to be fair, the only thing that he's got going against him is his injury concerns. He's not played a full season, and he's always got that question mark about him. And in your fantasy drafts, etc., people are going to go Saquon. They're going to go Zeke Elliott. They're going to some people even going like Nick Chubb or something like that before Dalvin Cook because of the injury concern. So, that's what he's going. That's the only thing that's going against him. The thing that he's got going for him is that if he's not on the field, the Vikings don't have another plan B. Like literally, they want to run the ball, and even more so now with Kubiak. Like, if they want to win a Super Bowl, they need Dalvin Cook, full stop.
Okay. Now, I did pull – this is one of the questions I was going to pull off Twitter today, so we'll do that now because it actually includes Dalvin Cook. So it was from the Fantasy Football Hotline. It says, after CMC, Saquon, Zeke go off the board, who should be the next running back taken in draft? So they've got Kamara, Cook, or Derrick Henry, or other.
Is it redraft?
It doesn't say. So let's just take it at redraft then.
Henry.
Ooh.
Okay. If it was Dynasty,
what was the other option? Cook, Henry, and Chubb.
Kamara.
Oh, Kamara.
Cook or Henry or other. If you want to throw an other in there. Anybody, give me something, please.
Well,
someone talk.
I think Nick Chubb's got an argument there. The only thing about Chubb is the
say it's PPR too.
Factor, which,
we'll throw in PPR.
The other guys probably haven't got that.
If we throw in PPR, does that
All
make?
Right.
Does
well,
that make
then
it
obviously
Kamara?
Kareem Hunt's more important.
Yeah, Kamara. Kamara. If it's PPR, Kamara.
Yeah, because Chubb's a
runner.
runner.
I'd go with Kamara as well. Like Neil says, I think that's probably But
if
Kamara
it's not PPR
again,
or TD bonus.
I think he's a year. Is he a year after Cook?
I have no idea. Who's that? Can't even recognise him. Dave.
Beardless,
no beard.
Flawless.
I know. Dude,
8
what
kilos
up?
heavier.
How many?
About 8 kilos heavier.
I thought you'd be lighter after taking the beard off.
Yeah, I know. So did I.
Good to join. Good. Hey, so
apparently Wild Turkey's got kilojoules in it.
Oh, okay. Hey, we've got Neil at Kamara. We've got Ben. You Kamara as well.
What have I missed?
Ben, can Ben hear me? Ben's frozen.
Is he?
Yeah, he's frozen. So
Kamara's a restricted free agent in 2021.
Yeah. So we're looking at after CMC, Saquon, Zeke. Who's going off the board? Kamara, Cook, Henry, or somebody else? Is it somebody else for you, Chubb?
Ooh. Oh, he has dropped out. He might join us again. It's probably
Hunt. Did you say?
It's probably Chubb
what?
for me. Probably Chubb.
Chubb.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's disappointing that AJ hasn't picked Austin Eckler.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I think the jury's still out on whether or not Austin Eckler can be the guy, can carry the load.
Oh, not Austin. Not that high.
I just want to keep checking in on AJ's temperature on the Chargers since she's sitting there wearing a Chiefs jersey and everything. Gee, I think it's important we know if he's going to change teams again. You know.
Hey, if
Raiders, Vegas, money.
Hey, and that
back into the silver and black.
Oh, mate, we were talking about that stadium last week. That stadium rocks. That's a kick-ass stadium.
Well, listen, I thought I'd wear the Mahomes jersey in honor of his #1 ranking in the top 100.
That goes without doubt, doesn't it? Without saying, he's the #1.
I was a bit tongue-in-cheek. He didn't get #1, did he?
I didn't?
No.
Who's #1?
The running back, quarterback.
Lamar did.
Oh.
He got #4.
I don't know how.
Controversially.
Okay, so I haven't caught up with that. So who are like the 4 people above him besides Lamar? Who's the other
Lamar, 2? Aaron Donald, and
no, Russ was #2.
Russ.
Oh, sorry, there was no specific.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Aaron Donald and Russ.
So you're telling me that a guy that's played 2 years in the NFL and should have probably been in the Super Bowl 2 years ago, and then wins it last year, rookie of the year, player, MVP of the Super Bowl is not the #1 guy in the first 2 years he's been playing football.
No,
that's correct.
That is correct.
Do you want me to? I'll tell you another one that's shocking. So 2 years ago, with however many weeks before he got injured left in the season, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks, Carson Wentz was in the discussion to be MVP. Is that agreed? I'm not saying he was, but he was in the discussion.
That is true.
He's not even in the 100.
No.
So
he's not in the 100.
He's not even in the 100.
Neil, you can correct me. He's got a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 TD to interception ratio.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. He's not in the 100.
Wow.
Mate, Matt Ryan's not in the 100.
Yeah, nor should he be.
Oh. Is there any Browns in the top 100?
Of course there is. We got Chubb. We've got Odell.
I tell you, if we're talking about those quarterbacks, guess who's at number 43?
43. If quarterbacks go. 43.
What quarterback number is it? Do you know?
Aaron.
Not Rodgers. Not Rodgers.
No.
This is an interesting one.
Do you know what quarterback number he is?
I think he's number 10.
Number 10. Okay.
Number 10.
Oh, can't throw over a jam jar. Now at Indianapolis Colts. Used to be AJ's quarterback, Rivers.
Surely not.
No, can't be. He can't be in the. He can't be in the 100. Can't be.
He couldn't be.
No, well,
Come on, Dave. If that's what you're bringing, mate, just switch off. Come on.
I'll give him one thing. He did go one step further than Lamar Jackson last year.
Is it Josh Allen?
Oh, Garoppolo.
T. Brady.
Jimmy G, number 41.
No. Yeah, Jimmy G. Yes.
Jimmy G.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, based on he made it to the Super Bowl last year, so he gets in at 49. The guy that actually win it is
at 4.
Okay.
With an MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who just bought a portion of the Royals.
So I've got another topic I can put up on screen.
Did he? No.
No. With his $500 million contract, he just bought a portion of the Kansas City Royals.
Yes, he did.
He's a part owner of the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, good on
him. The first bloke in history to go from being drafted to owning a team in 4 years.
I know, crazy, isn't it?
He was drafted in baseball. So,
but I tell you what, right? Like,
Benny's frozen. Benny was going to tell us something really good and give us a backhander on the way through.
Yeah. It sounds like he's playing the banjo.
Like, he's going to be a legend in that city anyway.
Oh,
but
absolutely. How can you not love the kid?
How can Betty not get better? It's 2020, dude. How's the internet that bad?
All right, listen, we're going to move
All right,
on.
move on to the next question. Okay.
Here's a topic for you.
You've got a topic.
Players that are opting out. This was a big name that dropped.
Yes.
It's not
fairly recently, cut in the last sort of 24 to 48 hours.
Not even the biggest.
He likely won't be the biggest that opts out. No. And certainly there's a lot of guys that are going into training camps who might just sort of get a sense of how the land lies before deciding to opt out. Because I think they have maybe till the August 6th. They've got about a week.
Yeah, August 4, yeah.
Oh, August 4, I apologize. Okay.
Yeah.
So they do have about a week. So there's quite a number of players who have opted out already.
And once you opt out, you cannot request reinstatement.
Nope.
Correct.
150 grand as your payment, which gets taken off your 2021 salary.
Yep. And 350 for those that have an underlying condition. And there's about 15 conditions that you can qualify as.
There'll be more of those blokes. But the Damian Williams, yes, big one. But for me, middle linebacker, New England Patriot, Dante Hightower.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick calls him Mr. February. I mean, you can't.
Wow.
He's walked away. There's other blokes.
Patriots, actually.
$8 million on the table.
Patrick Chung.
Well, look at who they also lost in free agency last year. They lost Collins.
Yeah.
Who's the other one I'm blanking on?
That quarterback who's won a few things. I can't.
No. I mean, as on the defense.
Van Noy.
Van
Noy. Yeah.
The whole linebackers gone. They also lost Patrick Chung, safety.
Yeah, he got done for cocaine. I mean, sorry, he's taken a year off. Sorry, no. There was
but it's, mate, they're just they decimated the linebacking position.
Oh,
there's just
there's a handful of blokes that are taking it off that have had cancer or have family members with cancer, and I completely respect them. And I saw your message today, guys, about talking about what's going on Twitter. I've been watching a bit of it as I've been cruising around. And I am genuinely, I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm genuinely flabbergasted at the disrespect shown. Never mind that Twitter's a dark place anyway. That these guys have chosen the love of their family, the love of their kids, blokes that have not only gone through cancer, but their wives that have gone through miscarriages, IVF treatments, the whole 9 yards. They've gone, you know what? My family's bigger than football. I'll take the 150K and I'll work it out next year. And they're getting.
It's a game. After all,
it is. It's a kid's game, and we love it. But I respect these guys that have gone through, and AJ, gee, you know what I do for a day. Yeah. I respect these blokes. Like you can't. And I'm an ex-middle linebacker. I love Hightower. I hate the New England Patriots, but I love Hightower.
Who'd you sit up for? What NFL team?
Well, clearly not. Would love to have.
Yeah,
mate, I would have given your right kidney to play for my beloved Browns.
Oh, yeah, my right kidney. I'm glad I'm giving up my right kidney.
Absolutely,
that's all right.
Good thing you've got your left kidney.
Yeah, thank you.
You got to understand that these blokes have dealt with cancers and all sorts of stuff. I can respect that.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and look at. Some people would say, look, it's a lot easier for those guys because they've got Super Bowl rings and they're financially secure. And maybe to a point there is, but they still got football to play and money to make.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're leaving money on the table. There was one, I was listening to a podcast on the way home from work tonight, and one of the blokes is leaving, as I said, $8.5 million on the table to get $150K. I think that may have been Hightower. So
it's quite interesting. Like I also, when I spoke to my mate Chris today, he said he was listening to the radio just this afternoon, and talking about one of the office people at the head office at the Bengals saying that if someone decides to opt out, the club itself can't actually say that they have. It's up to the player to tell the media that they've opted out or to tell the public. Yes. So there might, mate.
Same with the COVID list.
Yeah, for all we know, there could be other guys that have opted out and just keeping silent at the moment. Or, like I said, I think DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the guys who looked at it and said, "Look, I'll go to training camp and just get a feel, a handle on how they're coping with everything, and then make my decision based from that."
Well, the thing is, if you look at the baseball right now, so like baseball are trying to do a 60-game season. And, they had their opening weekend. Everything was rosy. And then after 3 games, teams are now traveling. So teams are now traveling to other stadiums. Within a day, the Miami Marlins had 12 people test positive for COVID-19.
So the chicken wings at that strip club are amazing.
So that's the whole thing, though, isn't it? Isn't it, Benny? It's so, that
I think
there's still, the problem is that
I need to get the source. Whatever that source is, I need to get it.
The end line for the decisions. The end line from the decisions is 7 days from when they sign the CBA, and they still haven't signed the CBA yet. So, like, more and more players will choose to opt out if the situation gets worse, kind of thing, because every day it's like 7 days. So it's 7 days from today. If they sign the CBA, they've got to opt in or out. If they don't sign it today, it's 7 days from tomorrow, and it keeps going and going and going. So, like, there isn't much of an end in sight for this either. Like, it could get worse if the situation gets worse. So the baseball situation is relevant, even though the Marlins, by all accounts, sound like they fucked themselves. Excuse my French. I think that's gonna, it'll be interesting to see if that's just an outlier and they get it under control, or once, like Ben says, they start moving around, it gets worse.
Well, you look at the NBA. The NBA's gone on the bubble in Orlando, and that's really, it's a lot easier because of the amount of
smaller teams, smaller ancillary stuff. But you look at zero. Hockey, soccer, basketball, all 3 sports have had 0 positives.
Yeah, but once you get to the end, the thing about the NFL, you got 32 teams. They start camp. Camp with. Is it 80 or not? Have they dropped it back to 80 players? You've got 80 guys looking at each other going, where the fuck have you been for the last 6 months? Like, really, no one knows where anybody's been. You got to rock up and, like...
No, they do, because they post on Instagram.
Everybody's got to start. You have to go into your shell, your bubble, whatever you want to do, but you all have to come in there first. It's not like you've been living in a bubble, then into another bubble.
You're right there, G, but I'm not sure if you've been listening to any of the podcasts that are team specific, and I'm not sure if the boys have been listening to their teams. But, for example, Cleveland has been testing. They were signing for the first 3 days this week. They had 3 days of testing. You had to get 3 days of negative results to then be able to test. Then be able to start training. So at first it was rookies. Then it was QBs and receivers, and then the other day it was linemen. So it's each one is coming in daily to get tested. Now they're pumping through the test as fast as they can. We're seeing tests here in Melbourne turned around into hospital in approximately 24 to 30 hours. So three negative tests, antibodies are good. You can train. And they're temperature tested.
But then where do you go? Then where do you go? Like, I've seen the NFL said you can lose your money if you get caught with a positive test and they find out that you've been to like a high risk area, concert, strip club,
correct,
whatever. So in other words, the way I saw that is once your training's finished,
prison in case, you know.
Yeah, where are they going? Where are they going? Are they all staying together?
This is where, and this is what I was listening to Dan Hansis today, and I've listened to the guys from Cleveland Browns Daily, that they have to make the commitment to, and I'm not sure if you guys heard the same stuff. They have to make the commitment for the next 3 to 6 months to not do anything, not go anywhere. Simply turn your house into a major league based, a NBA bubble. You know,
I just don't see that being able, with the amount of people, the guys that play, and all the families, and asking all them to do it as well. We've already seen here in the AFL 4 teams have been fined because spouses are off doing stupid things.
Yep.
Especially, you know, like Richmond.
Don't take wags. Don't take wags. Don't take dogs.
But the problem is,
I know. I've got no answers, mate.
And that's the problem. One person gets it, and it's just, we've seen what happened with the Marla, and bang, boom. You know, it's.
I mean, you think about when we were all in our mid-20s, all those millennia ago. Imagine each of us getting, you know, even a $2 million contract to play our favourite sport. You'd be like, oh, hello, giddy up, mate. We're going to go to the Club for Wings. We're going to go to the steakhouse. We're going to go here. We're going to go drink pints. Blah 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 blah. Mate, you got to make a decision, don't you? You got to go, righto. I'm 26, 27. I'm on my 3rd or 4th year of my rookie contract. Do I want a second contract? Do I want to go and reach the Myles Garretts and Joey Bosa's? You know, do I want to go and touch that sky?
You always have to chuck a Browns guy in there, don't you?
Well, mate, $125 million over 5 years.
Yeah, but Dave, what I'm saying is it's not so much the players that I'm thinking about. It's more...
Oh, it's everything. The whole gamut.
Wives, the girlfriends,
the kids, childcare at school and everything. I know.
Like one of the players, he send his kids, the wife dropped them off to the grandmothers living in Queensland. They took them to the theme park, and then they all come back. And then the kid interact with the father, and the father goes out and trains with these guys, and they play football, and boom.
Get on the school. Yeah, I know.
Off it goes. You know, that's...
Guys, say if they did decide to, you know, localise, so they changed the schedule and you only played your own division, right? So that was it. They changed it schedule, so instead of playing you played it 2 times anyway.
Yep.
Head-to-head, home and away, each division, you know. How does that change things? Like, who would benefit from that? I'm thinking, you know, I think probably some of
Jets at the moment.
Jets probably.
And then anyone else that's got
maybe someone like the Bucks as well.
8 Vikings tested positive. So you got Green Bay and Chicago at the moment.
Yeah, who would benefit?
Not the bookies, that's for sure. They'd be spewing.
Well, that's another question. You start talking about like betting in America. Geez, that's something you could go on. Like, people would be losing money left, right, and centre at the moment.
Mate, they're already talking about the colleges are potentially shutting permanently. You know?
Well, the college system, if the schools aren't open, they can't play college. They can't play college football. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So we should move on. AJ, you're doing a great job there. I mean,
we still got a minute.
We still got a minute
and 15. I tell you. I think one thing that, you know, is particularly interesting with the fact that they seem pretty set on having a season, as do the baseball. You know, they've had these big, you know, blowouts with the Marlins, and it's not going to be the first. And there seems to be a general attitude in the US that, you know what, this thing's just going to be around. You know, survival of the fittest. We'll just carry on, and, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, that's what it looks like. Some people will be better than others, and that's what it is. But, you know, I think we definitely have a season, and we'll definitely have, I would imagine, upwards of a couple of hundred players potentially missing out or opting out. Sorry. So where the opportunities are then to see, younger players, rookies potentially getting more time. I mean, if you're a rookie, and you sort of 4th, 5th round. I mean, some of those guys usually don't even break camp, right? They don't even get to the team, some of them. So what an opportunity for them, I mean, health risks aside, we could see some of those guys starting day one and having amazing seasons, which, let's leave everything out in terms of the coronavirus. In terms of football, that's quite exciting.
It is, yeah. And you look at it, you've got your walk off the street kind of football that whether you're talking about EPL or AFL, rugby league, blokes are playing, club division seconds, and all of a sudden they're kicking or scoring 5 or 6 tries. We could see a bloke like a Damien Sheehy Giuseppe. That was and yes, G, I do.
That's another Browns player, G.
I know, yeah, I know.
I just figured because he brought up the name, I didn't know who it was. It must have been a Browns player.
Well, he was not. Well, he was a Browns player. OBJ loaned him a pair of boots, and he scored a touchdown, or a punt return for a touchdown against the Washington Football Club. We want to be politically correct.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that the logo was designed in the 70s by the great grandson of the Blackfoot Nation, but we move on from that. So I mean, it's got the great potential. There's some fantastic stuff. I mean, there's the guy that's floating around Twitter at the moment. Was he Jarvis the Tank Courtney, who's tagging anybody and everybody to get a go? 6'6", offensive lineman, played some arena league stuff, some 3rd and 4th tier stuff. 6'6", 300-pound offensive lineman trying to get a Guernsey. Those blokes that are walking away. He's got a good story. He's worth a look at if you haven't seen it. It's,
Matt Jones, ex Washington.
Oh yeah, the 37-year-old who's making a comeback. Who wants to make a comeback? Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I'd love to see it. Some what do they call them? UDFAs that didn't get picked up. Some of my selections from our tight end night.
Well, listen. On the other end of the UDFAs is this thing that dropped during the week.
I didn't do it. Oh yeah. How good is that?
So, what are our thoughts about this?
We should do a quick straw poll before we start on who. I want to know G, because G is the most even-handed man I've ever traded with. He will tell you if it's garbage, and he will tell you if it's fair. So. G, are you the Jets in this equation, or are you the Seattle Seahawks?
Man, that's seriously dependent. It all comes down to where the Seahawks, how well the Seahawks do, doesn't it? Over the next couple of years.
They've never had the top. I think their highest pick's been 12 or something since Russell Wilson got dropped.
Mate, mate, that's. I don't know. I don't know how good Bradley McDougal is.
Serviceable. Yeah. Yep.
Serviceable. Yeah. I know Jamal.
He's good in nickel and dime packages.
Well, yeah, one of the best safeties going around. But mate, 2 first round picks and a third.
I don't know where the 4th comes in.
But G, just
the Seahawks said. Well, you got to throw in a 4th, otherwise it's no deal.
What?
Just before you go, remember these next 2 years are not a normal draft and not normal draft years.
No,
with Corona, so there's going to potentially be a bunch of juniors and seniors presenting to the NFL draft with limited to zero film.
True.
This one's my favorite, AJ. I like this one.
There I am with the one eyebrow.
So what you're telling me is that the
Seahawks
first round picks are not really first round picks, the second round picks possibly. And even then, the stats
they're definitely late first rounders anyway.
Yeah, exactly right, Neil. And you go back to then what?
Well, AJ's the defensive guy, so he'd be more on it whether or not
Well, I think it's insane value for the Jets. Actually, it's good value for both of them. I mean, Bradley McDougald is a good starting strong safety. He's 30 years old.
Is it gonna make the Seahawks that much better?
Yes. You've now got someone who can genuinely challenge Kittle.
Well, I think about the Seahawks with that trade. They will never, ever do that on the offensive side of the ball, would they? They would never make a trade like that on the offensive side of the ball. No. They'd only do it on the defense. And, I think that's the key thing here is that, he's all about the defense. And if you look at that NFC West with those, fancy offenses in terms of play action and running and Shanahan, McVay, etc., Kingsbury, he wants to just be old school and he wants to, win it by turning the ball over.
Smash mouth football.
Yeah. You know, Jamal Adams instantly becomes the best pass rusher on that defense.
Yeah, because Jadeveon Clowney's still floating out there. Yeah. So where's he gonna? He's got to go somewhere.
He'll go back to Seattle for that. I think he will. I think
the other thing is, do you trust the Jets to make the right choices with those picks? So you think, it's the same value.
Yeah, they make up.
But here's a quick question for you.
We got crazy Darko's making selections with the GM. The GM's going to get, mind you, having said that, depending on what happens this year, I reckon Gase might be gone.
Here's a quick quiz.
They did pick up my number 2 wide receiver. So someone's got some brains.
Here's a quick quiz question for you. So Seattle, they deal 2 of their future firsts, but do you know in the last 10 years, name any Seattle first round pick in the last 10 years?
I'm guessing Richard Sherman was more than 10 years ago.
That would have been more than
10 years. And I would have gone like 25 years ago with Rick Moira, but that's beside the point.
Running back. What's his name?
I'll say one, Jay, and that's LJ Collier.
Yep, he was last year. Okay, who was this year?
I only know that because he's terrible.
Yeah, who was this year? Does anyone know?
First round pick,
defensive lineman, wasn't it?
First round pick. No, it was a linebacker.
Jordan Brooks.
Kenneth Murray? No,
Jordan Brooks.
Yeah, Jordan Brooks. Yeah.
They picked him ahead of Patrick Queen. They picked him ahead of Patrick Queen, unbelievably. 2018 is the one you should know.
What? Rashard Penny.
The
running back I was trying to think of. Rashard Penny.
2017, they didn't have a pick. They must have traded it. 2016 was Jermaine Afidi. He's an offensive lineman. 2015, 14, and 13, they didn't have picks.
Traded them away. That was
traded them away. 2012 was Bruce Irvin. Now he's back to the Seahawks. They had him for 4 years. Then he's done a bit of a tour of the league, and he's come back. And in 2011 is James Carpenter, who I checked is now on the Falcons.
Who?
He's an offensive lineman. James
Carpenter. I reckon if you go to the 13 draft, leading into the 14 draft, going for the Irving trade, I reckon that's where they traded away that, was it the 12, 13?
Could be.
Something like that. So I was looking at it. I'd forgotten his name, but I remember him now because he looks like a bouncer that I used to work with, Joe Douglas, the Jets general manager. He was probably,
15 seconds. Wrap it up quick, Dave. Get it
out. They'll sack Gase. And Joe Douglas will get the bloke that he wants to work with. Somebody ex-Philly.
Okay, we're over the line. Okay, I've got a question for you. This is posted by Austin Eckler today. Mate, he's pretty buff, but they're all pretty buff. Seems like he's working out at home. He said he put out his favourite pump-up song because he's been working out. So, yes. And it's Enter the Sandman by Metallica. Okay.
It's not bad.
Guys, favourite pump-up song?
Let me check my phone.
Yeah, exactly what I'm doing. So for my 180 kilo deadlift that I had on IG, I was listening to.
I do deadlifts, man. Bad for my back. Bad form.
That's because you got bad form, mate. You need to be short and round like me.
It's always helps when your ass is close to the ground, dude.
It does, absolutely. It was either Psychosocial by Slipknot or Awake by Godsmack or Effing Hostile by Pantera. It was one of those three.
Okay, so pretty heavy. I take it.
Yeah,
I don't listen to those bands. I know who they are. I've heard of them, but I just don't listen to them.
No, it's fair enough.
Yeah.
You show
Neil.
So mine would be.
I'm looking forward to this from Neil.
I'm looking
forward to this from Neil.
Mine would either be something by Linkin Park. There could be a number of them, or an open letter to NYC by the Beastie Boys.
Love the Beastie Boys. Oh.
Late 90s, early noughties there, mate, all over it.
Yeah.
Who is
White Man Rap?
Yeah, White Man Rap. It's the new thing. I'll go a bit earlier than that, and I'll go. What's the Frequency, Kenneth by REM. Very good song.
Good song.
What's the? That's your pump up song.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, you're gonna listen to REM.
Have you listened to it? It is.
Song, but I'm sort of.
I'm going to listen to it when we finish.
I'd be leaning more towards like Dave's sort of music if I was in the. I want to be angry. I want to be mad. I want to be really pissed off.
Have you not seen Michael Stipe? He wears masks and makeup and all sorts. He's pretty rough.
Yeah, that's for reasons though. Love REM, but the makeup and the masks are for different reasons.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I'm only deadlifting 55, so you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we'll train together, Ben. We'll do some training together.
I'll give you a tip. I've cleaned out all the garage and my gym's already set up, so I've given myself more room. So I've get a few more things with everything that's going on just to add to it.
A lot of vinyl in there, G. A lot of vinyl.
A lot of vinyl.
It's on the wall.
There's a few things that can be lock people up with, but I have a sliding mirror in the walk-in robe, so we'd never use it. So I took it out and put it in the garage. And then I realised when I stood in front of it, it's one of those women's mirrors.
They make your legs look longer and your boobs look bigger.
Mate,
well done, G.
I lost like 20 kilos just standing in front of the mirror. I said, can't use this. I need the gym mirrors that are curved that makes me look like I've gained 20 pounds, not lost 20 pounds.
Yeah,
so
my way, because I'm happily to look in that mirror, mate. It was making you lose 20 pounds.
AJ, what's yours?
You know, I quite like. I'm not a massive Eminem fan, but he's got some good songs that I reckon can really get you going. 8 Mile.
More white guy rap.
That's right. 8 Miles.
How does that go down at school? How does that go down at school, AJ? I bet they all love you after that.
Absolutely. Look, there's a few Eminems that I reckon fit the bill, but 8 Mile's pretty good.
I listen to Till I Collapse by Eminem, and I've got that on my rotation when I'm in the gym. And
just so YouTube won't get us in trouble.
Yeah.
Oops. Got a copyright strike. All right. So.
Knife Party by the Deftones. Dave, you'll like that one. Knife Party by the Deftones. That's a big one for me. I like that one too. Redeem myself.
No, mate.
Yeah,
REM's great.
More in the definition.
Oh. Volume. I just muted you, G. You were like squelching all over the place. Can you put it down a bit? Okay. That's a bit better.
Did you see that G had his like Ute driving head as well?
55. Man, it's about rock and roll show. ACD, you can't go past ACDC, can you really?
No, you can't. No.
Agadaka does a good job. Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a few up here by some people that are watching us. Renegade, Dr. Dre.
Yep.
Not bad.
Or anything
That's a pretty good one. Pretty good from Dale, actually. That's a good one. I don't mind that.
Rage Against the Machine, is that? Rage Against the Machine?
Yeah.
System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine. You can't go wrong with it. Most of that stuff.
Mate, I don't mind a little bit of doof while I'm working out.
Okay.
No?
I'm going to give you the rock paper eyebrow for that.
Give me an example of what you mean by doof.
Yeah. Thank you, Neil.
And be careful. Be careful what you say.
There's one song that's a few years older, I'm told, and I just found out about it a couple of weeks ago, and it's by a Melbourne band called Melbourne Sound. I'm just waiting for it to sort of like arc up.
Well, you've only got 5 seconds.
Because there is a little bit of
naughtiness.
Yeah,
just to round this conversation off, I think a big thing that they should do is like they do in baseball, right? So when they're coming up to hit, they should play a song, like a walk-up song. Like why don't they do that for the quarterback? It's got to be done.
Well,
every play.
Do you remember when Neil Smith used to get a sack? Now that AJ's on his case, he used to, because he played inter-championship or whatever it was, inter-parish competitive softball, he always hit a home run. And you're right, that walk-up music would be great. You know, like my idol when it comes to baseball was Jim Thome, number 25. Yes, Cleveland Indians. Yes, thanks, G. He's not listening to him. He used to walk up to Hell's Bells and Thunderstruck. I mean, you know, you've got 70,000 people at the Jake, and you're walking up to that. How could you not want to hit somebody with Hell's Bells going on?
My word. Okay, G, have you got another?
Imagine, you know, like third and 15, you know, bang, stick on some Metallica. We're on to rave now. It's a rave.
He's dropped a couple of discos.
Turn this goddamn thing off. There we go.
Okay, G, have you got another?
Yes, I do. I do have another question. Okay, let me have a look. Okay. So, by Bailey at Six Man Schroeder, he put up what sport moment gave you goosebumps?
What sport moment gave you goosebumps?
Come on, guys.
I've got two, but I'm sitting back. I'll
AJ can't say premiership because he hasn't seen one.
Bad goosebumps was, I've got two. So bad goosebumps was last year. Yeah, was last
bad
year.
Goosebumps.
Yeah. So I'll explain why in a second. So it was last year in the NBA Finals, Philadelphia, Toronto, buzzer running down, Kawhi Leonard in the corner, took the shot, hit the rim, hit the backboard, hit the other side of the rim, ran around the rim, and then went in and knocked Philly out. So I had enough time to get bad goosebumps in that 300th of a second. And then good goosebumps would have been way, way back, like, and this is sad, but I still remember dogging off school in 1994, and Ben will remember this.
Not that dogging.
Was Scotland qualified for the World Cup in France and played Brazil in the opener of the Soccer World Cup, and that was goosebumps. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Neil, but I'm going to shit all over your Scottish football thing here, because my first goosebump story is Euro '96. Paul Gascoigne returns after horrendous times with injuries and all that. Paul Gascoigne, if you guys don't know, one of the best sort of football players from England, and he'd had problems with injuries, drink, drugs, all sorts of stuff. Came back to play for England, and the goal that he scores against Scotland, where he just flicks it over the defender and pops it in the bottom corner was pretty amazing. It's one of those some of Gary Ablett moments, I guess. For kicking goals from stupid corners of the ground, 60 meters out or whatever. It was that good. So sorry about that, Neil. And then second one. Was I was at Shea Stadium in 2001 to see Mike Piazza hit the first home run when baseball resumed after 9/11, which was pretty amazing. And I'd been playing soccer over in the US in Pennsylvania for 2 summers. You all know Hershey's chocolate, I imagine. So I was playing in Hershey, and I was stood on the World Trade Center on the 6th of August 2001, which is a bit scary. And then I was stood at Shea Stadium for that game, which was remarkable, really. I couldn't believe it. I didn't really know at the time, I think, what I was witnessing. I was not a huge baseball fan. But that as soon as they hit that home run, it was amazing, really. I've never known any kind of feeling to be amongst it, like when you're amongst something rather than watching it from afar. Pretty crazy.
And now, what is it, 20 odd years on, you can go, oh, thank God to those German scientists for steroids. Well done, Mike Piazza. I mean, sorry, no.
AJ,
Dave, I've got a T-shirt. I'll get it for you. It says "Steroids saved baseball." And it did. It did. Baseball was dying a death.
And I hate
people were like, bang, bang, let's get some action.
Yep. I hate these guys aren't in the Hall of Fame, because everyone was on them. Pitchers, DHs, first basemen, outfielders, they were all on them. They were jacking home runs. It was beautiful.
AJ, who you got?
Oh, it's, when all the news comes out about Richmond bribing the refs and everything in about 5 years, it'll be the same thing then. Should they be?
Yeah, Hawthorn paying the Welsh ladies $190,000.
An extraordinary allegation.
I put my beanie on, but I'm under the little live thing. So, I put my Seattle Supersonics beanie on. So it was a big Sonic fan.
What's with that? Baseball and basketball? Really?
Well, listen,
multi-sport. There was no
in
the multi-sport. It was the 90. Hang on, I'm just going to check. Yes, it was. It was the 96 NBA Finals. I quit very shortly after that. Fell off NBA.
Funny, so did Seattle. I think they moved to Oklahoma, didn't they?
Yes, they did. So very, very shortly after that, fell off NBA. But that 96 series between the Sonics and the Bulls was amazing. Was absolutely amazing. All the greats really in that. Well, all the Bulls greats. That Bulls team was incredible. And obviously you had Sean Payton and Sean Kemp and Gary Payton on the Sonics side. That was an amazing series, which obviously the Bulls won. But yeah, I've got really fond memories of that series. That Bulls, and I still haven't watched.
Neil,
it's on my list. It's on my list. That Netflix doco. What's it called?
The Last
Dance.
The Last Dance.
It's phenomenal.
Phenomenal. Absolutely.
So my cousin lives in Chicago, and she got me this as a present. So in 1993, they made these rings to celebrate, and all the season ticket holders got one.
Nice.
She was cleaning out her closet and realized that she had one, and she sent it over to me.
Oh, that's brilliant,
man.
That's awesome.
Neil, I bet you're the absolute, man on the old Scotch campus there, mate.
So mine as a boy growing up in Melbourne, who was the odd man out barracking for Geelong, the 2007 grand final.
Which one?
The
2007.
7, yeah. So after going through 89, 92, 94, 95.
I was at the 89 grand final.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing back more PTSD. Getting that 07, I was actually working in hospitality at that stage, and I worked with a bunch of Geelong blokes, and we were all going, don't listen. And then we could hear cheering from the warehouse guys. And obviously then I got home, so I bought myself, hello, wife, say hello. That's Mrs. Rump's lifting medic.
You can tell this is a professional podcast.
Very professional. So that was my big one. So I bought home Australian Sparkling and drank an entire bottle of that, watching the replay that I'd recorded, and then.
The replay is always better, Dave, for some reason, because you can relax and enjoy. I still watch the Tigers now. Just the highlights.
Of course you do, because you're used to ninth for like 30 years. I had no premiership for like 64, so And then talking about NFL, and you boys know how much we all love it, was and how much pain that I've gone through personally with whatever the cluster bomb is that in Berea was game week 3, 2018, New York Jets. At Jet Stadium, when Baker comes in, throws that opening pass to Jarvis after. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard the story, but the middle linebacker for the Jets was barking at him and carrying on, telling him, "We don't even know who the hell you are. What are you doing? Round 1 pick, blah, blah, blah." And he goes, "Mate, I don't even know who the F you are." Threw that bullet, and then we ended up winning, and those fridges popped in Cleveland.
He'll ever since, though, Dave.
Well, that's what happens when you hire a drunk man from Alabama. Allegedly, Your Honour. There was, the win. The fridges popped. What was it, 672 days since a win. I reckon that one deserves goosebumps.
Well, nice. Mine is when Alexis Winston, when she was ice skating and she fell and hit her head and she became blind, and then she trained as a blind ice skater, and then she competed, and then they all threw the roses on, and because you can't skate over the top of anything, she tripped up on the roses, and everybody realised she was blind. And what
became a quadriplegic. Yeah, we know.
Amazing. Didn't they give you goosebumps? Ice castles?
Ice castles.
You guys have
Is this a Disney film? I'm trying to think. Is this a Disney film?
You don't remember Ice Castles?
On Disney Plus for about $8.99 a month.
Over the roses at the end. No?
Did that really happen?
No.
You guys are terrible, man.
I thought you were going to pick the Super Bowl.
What was that again, Neil?
How's that giving goosebumps, dude?
Half time, you won it, right?
No, Stephen Bradbury. Yeah.
No, not Stephen Bradbury.
Mate. No. Good on him for being, you got to be in it to win it.
Good on him for being lucky. Woo!
Look, mate, to be honest, I reckon as watching John Aloisi kick the goal to put Australia into the World Cup.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That was
because
good.
You have the whole lead up from the last goal for him walking up, standing there, everything. So you had the build up of just him in the shot, just him, mate. That was incredible.
No, that's just G in Campy, mate.
That was pretty good. That was you can't beat the Ice Castles one, man. Go and have a look. Just YouTube. Amazing. She's blind.
I think so are you. You got another one of your liter bottles. Gin and tonic.
Another question, AJ?
Yes, go ahead.
Another question. Okay. Now, Fantasy Foot Bub. They put in a 12 team dynasty PPR. Which wide receiving core would you rather own? Okay, so there's two. We got AJ Brown, Juju, and Lamb, or we got DJ Moore, Chark, and Judy.
Number one.
Which?
Can you say it again?
Brown, AJ Brown, Juju, and Lamb, DJ Moore, Chark, and Judy.
Ooh,
yeah,
it's the first one. It's the first one.
It's the first one.
I don't even play fantasy, but and AJ and G, you need to teach me. We've discussed this, but thank you, COVID, for ruining my potential to learn other stuff.
Mate, don't listen.
Yeah, I'm with the boys. I reckon one. I think Baby Shark, Baby Shark was a flash in the pan, soon to be flake.
Ooh, okay.
I just wouldn't trust. So there's 2 of those 3 in that second group. Bridgewater, isn't a renowned offensive guy, so that's got a question mark. How long Minshew mania will last? So then what happens to Chark then? And then Judy's a rookie. So
I agree with you, Neil. It came down to me with who the quarterbacks are for the second 3. I agree, and especially with Judy.
Brown's not going to get any catches because Lamar's going to run them all.
No, it's not Marquise Brown. It's AJ Brown.
AJ Brown.
Sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. It all comes down.
Too many family members in the one league.
All comes down to the quarterbacks for me, to be honest.
Let me make an argument for that second group, though, G. Let me make an argument. Let me make an argument for that second group because one DJ Moore. He had, I think, 130 targets last year. And that was with poor quarterback play. And he put up a big year. So I think, looking at that, quarterback situation there, I think it is going to be an improvement. So I think, longer term as well, there's obviously more to like about that second group. DJ Chark, I think, again, with Minshew, he went up and got balls out of that he shouldn't have won, which is a good sign, if he has better quarterback play as well. And, Judy, I think, again, in Denver, rest in peace, Deshaun Hamilton. But, he's going to be the slot guy there, I think, a fair bit as well. He'll play on the outside, but he'll move. He'll get opportunities. So I think, yes, 1, I can understand the thinking, for now. But 2, I think it's the kind of dark horse that, maybe next year you're having another conversation about.
Yeah, I think Drew Lock really concerns me. Is he a good quarterback? Drew Lock. I wasn't big on coming out, and
Can I make a future prediction?
Yep.
After hearing an interview this week with Aaron Rodgers, pencil him in Denver.
Ooh.
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Denver. Well, that changes Judy's outlook.
My word.
Every single QB in the NFL can throw a slant pass to a slot receiver that.
Not every QB can. I disagree with that.
Well, who can't?
All right, Sam Darnold can throw it to a ghost. Fair enough.
Yes.
Apart from that.
Sam Darnold's not throwing to ghost, man. He's just running away from him.
He's scared of them because they got mono.
Hey, we all gave him a hard time about mono, mate. We're looking at mono now, going, we all wish we had mono. At least about problem.
I've had mono, and it's not much fun. Trust me. Probably less fun than a ventilator with COVID, but sure. what's his face from Buccaneers now, or at
Brady?
No, it's Jameis Winston can't throw them. Daniel Jones probably can't throw them because he'll be scared from something.
Mate, Jameis can throw them, but every second one goes to the corner that's covering him. That's fine.
But every second one goes to the 53rd stand in the third. You know, you've got a handful of blokes that I disagree that can't throw them, and obviously Rivers can't throw them because he'll hit an offensive lineman in the back of the head because he can't throw over a jam jar. And there's a handful of blokes that can't throw them, but I digress.
Guys, let's make that a running commentary thing this year, right? Yeah, we'll do it by fantasy points, shall we?
We'll do that.
Group
okay.
one against group two.
Who's in team Brown, Juju and Lamb? I want to write this down.
Me.
Yep. AJ.
Me.
Neil. I can see Dave being by him on an island here.
No? Non-fantasy Dave. I'll take the three.
You're going to take Brown, Juju, or you're going to take more Judy and Chark?
Team one.
Team one?
Yeah.
And Neil, are you out there?
On an island. Hey?
Team two. I'll plant the flag.
Ben's on team two. Okay. On an island. Good on you, dude. Standing out there by yourself, mate. Not getting influenced at all. That's great. Hey? All right.
Just tell me how much I owe you at the end of the year, yeah?
Okay, yeah, just let me know. Okay, now question by Kyle Larson, who I believe was on this week's on the Fantasy Smackdown with Kyle, our good mate Kyle. Yeah. He's asking, who is the Bills' RB1? Devin Singletary, Zach Moss, or is it a 50-50 split?
No.
75-25.
Who to?
Singletary.
Yeah. He learnt too much.
Who's going to end up with the most fantasy points would be the
Singletary.
The format. That's a good question.
Can I choose other? Can I choose other?
The format, Matt. Sorry.
Okay.
So let's say the format. Let's just keep it at. If we kept it at standard scoring.
Singletary.
Standard scoring.
Well, mate, it's a friend of Kyle. Kyle's a big fan. Kyle was a big fan of standard scoring, so it's his guess. So let's keep it at standard scoring and keep him happy.
All right.
So based purely on the guys getting touches, not based on how many balls they're catching, just on yards that they collect and touchdowns.
Yeah, but we're forgetting about one of their key running pieces here, and that's Josh Allen, right? So it's really tough to say it's going to be a 25-75 or whatever split it's going to be, because Josh Allen is the red zone back. So, you're looking at
4 of the 5. I think 4 of the 5 with inside the 5 touchdowns last year were all scored by Josh Allen.
Oof.
Devin Singletary doesn't even run the ball when he gets inside the 10.
So I think, Singletary is going to be the lead guy, but I really can't see them giving the ball to Moss inside the 10-yard line. Like, it's going to be Allen.
I think they'll give the ball to Zach Moss first, and if they're inside the 10, I think Zach Moss will get it. I think once they get down near on the goal line, I think it's all Josh Allen from there on in. I mean, he does it every time. He does it.
Year 3 heading to year 4?
Sorry?
Is year 3 heading to year 4? No, year 2 heading to year 3. Josh Allen. They're going to wind that. They're going to wind back.
Year 3, yeah.
They're going to wind that back. They're going to try and get him. I'm sure, didn't they draft a slot and a wide out?
They got a couple of guys. They got Davis, who's he's a more of a deep guy.
I like Davis.
And then, I like Davis as well. I think Davis is the kind of guy that, he'll be in a best ball or something like that. He'll be awesome. But going back to Singletary, I think he showed last year that he can, you know, I think handle the lead work, and he's got good hands out of the backfield. So, you know, was the question just about rushing?
Yeah.
I think they'll ask Allen to wind his rush back to look at longevity.
I don't know. I don't know if they really worry about him running. I don't think the
I know he's a big unit.
Right.
But
he's
rushing QB
very well. He's not like Cam Newton. I was always scared of Cam Newton, and me and AJ used to speak about this all the time. He doesn't know how to take a hit.
No,
and it's only because he's not RG3. He's the same as RG3, but with an extra 60 pounds on him.
Yeah, and there's 166 rushing attempts to replace. That's how many Frank Gore had last year.
And they're going to go to, and a lot of those were what? Short yardage runs inside the goal, inside the 10. They'll go to Zach Moss.
But Neil, you were probably listening to the same and reading the same stuff I did. Singletary was taken under Gore's wing, and Singletary was wearing the same clothes that Gore wore. He adopted the Gore mentality. I wouldn't be surprised that he continues that. Maybe he doesn't take the whole 126. It was 126, right? Yeah. So maybe he takes 80 out of it.
No, he's going to get a lot of work, I reckon.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On top of what he already did last year, plus 80. As a guess.
But I think it's the same with Allen, because McDermott sees now that he's got one hell of a defense, and that's why they went out and got Diggs. He's got a window. Buffalo got a window right now, and if they're going to go and win this, Super Bowl, who gives a shit if Josh Allen, runs himself to death and is out of the league in 3 years because they don't do his contract. So I feel like, with this question, I think Singletary is the number one guy, and whether it's a pass or run play, he'll get it. Allen will get it close to the touchline, like G says. Zach Moss, he is a cheap replacement for Frank Gore. Simple.
Sure.
All right, we got one question here. Another one probably start to wrap up in a minute. Now here's this right up Dave's alley. Some idiot called Brown's Time.
Not me.
At the Brownie, probably a good mate of Dave's. Probably like a love interest or something. Has put out.
You're my only love interest, mate.
Baker Mayfield will be a better QB than Lamar Jackson this coming season. Book it now.
This has been a constant.
It's not going to happen, dude.
Twitter malarkey. They're going to run two different types of offenses, so it all depends on QBRs, and I'm not convinced yet. I was to begin with, and now I'm not. But let's see what happens. You're running a 21 offense with Stefanski. It's more like what he ran in Oklahoma. Last year was a bit of an anomaly. The first 30 plays were laid out by Campen, and then all of a sudden shit went sideways, Gesundheit, when Freddie got drunk and started drinking Alabama moonshine at quarter time and calling plays. They were running plays that they had run 3 weeks earlier that they hadn't practiced in walkthroughs that week. So will he be better? Maybe in a QBR? Touchdown to interception ratio? I don't know. I honestly don't.
I picked up the number one QB in the Browns in one of the last rounds of a draft that I did in Case Keenum.
He's a good backup. He's a good bench player.
Mate, he's the best quarterback on that roster.
I'm still not convinced. I reckon Baker's lost probably 15 to 20 pounds. He looks ripped. He looks amazing. I don't
understand what that's got to do with him throwing a football and making decisions like that. Sorry.
The fact that he hasn't been distracted by all the other malarkey that he went through last year. He got fat and he got lazy. That's my opinion. He had
did a lot of adverts.
Mate, it really dude, your number one job and what you're paid to do is to be a quarterback.
I think he thought that was an easy league and that was an easy division.
Yeah, well, they just had a guy exactly the same, didn't they? That he replaced. It was exactly the same. If that's the road you're going to go down, he's
which one?
Same thoughts.
Kaiser, Johnny. Johnny was a.
There's something about the Cleveland Browns, mate, that as soon as you get there, you think you've made it and you can just sit on your ass and do nothing.
Yeah, I think that the history gets pumped into you. It's a bit like working at certain companies. They fill you full of hot air, they stroke your ego, and they let you run wild. And I think he realised now that perhaps that's not going to happen. And Stefanski's, I reckon, and Ben probably knows better than I reckon Stefanski's put a foot square in his date. So
I think it's an interesting one with Stefanski. I mean, what really surprised me about his appointment, I mean, I think they were after him last year, so they felt like, that Kitchens didn't work, so we'll go with our plan B from last year or plan A.
I think plan A was actually Stefanski, but I do wonder whether or not they wanted to see him in a year. I do. I genuinely think. But
I think he was under a little bit of a leash at the Vikings, like, with Kubiak there, with Zimmer, like there was a pre-existing mandate. So, run the ball, blah, blah, blah. But what interested me about Stefanski last year, and I mean, it was the same with DiFilippo before that, when they tried to throw the ball, that's when the problem started, and they, couldn't work through that. And I still don't think they probably will work through that. We're too one-dimensional. What Stefanski might bring is
besides his quarterback
passing game. Yeah, besides his quarterback. But I mean, Cousins is a great passer.
They're the same height, similar height, similar build too. And they both played that two tight end wide zone offense.
But the thing that so Courtney Cronin, who's a great beat writer for the Vikings, definitely a great follow. She follow through training camp, etc. Like they don't spend enough time, though they hadn't last year, working on passing plays. It was all scheme stuff. Get the runners, get the offensive line sorted out. So. That worries me about the Vikings, because I don't think, again, like it's not their number one priority. Stefanski's now got the opportunity to do that. And unlike in Minnesota, where, look, I mean, Thielen and Diggs,
were good.
On UDFA and a 5th round pick. Like they were diamonds in the rough. Like all the other guys they drafted didn't work out. Look at the wide receiver room in Cleveland. It is stacked.
Yeah. No, they're overrated. They're old. They're broken. They're injured.
But they're way better than what he had in Minnesota.
I'm playing it down, Benny. I'm putting a big Tupperware lid on it, mate, because I'm quietly just pumped.
Well, I feel like they've got a nice balance there, because the running game, I mean, in terms of talent, the running game's just as good as Minnesota, in my opinion, like, with Chubb and Hunt. So if they can get that working, and, I think, they've obviously got great options at tight end as well, bringing Hooper in.
Very excited.
So, look,
they got Njoku back under control. That's his age.
At the end of the day, they've still got Baker. They've got a first-time head coach. So what's the Tom Cruise movie? Live, Die, and Repeat, or whatever it is?
Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about with Emily. Yeah.
So it could be that, mate. That's all I'm saying.
Look, and I see Hutchie's comments. Apology. Well, there's not so much an apology. Case of, I think they were blindsided and they were hoped that, going back to
is this 5 minutes gone? Are we still on the bloody Browns?
No, we're still on the no. Well, like you asked, you asked. What can I do? You asked.
Keep it in 5 minutes.
Well, you never told me that bit. There was no caveat.
All I can say is Stefanski's there. He's brought his quarterback with him, and his initials are CK.
He's also got his tackles. He's also got his tight ends. He's got Njoku back under control now that he's told Drew Rosenhaus to shut his cake hole. Because Drew only gets paid, so everyone gets excited. But nobody noticed that 3 weeks later that he signed another bloke and then asked the exact same question. We need to trade X to get, what he's after is Drew only gets paid when they get paid. So, like Njoku's got a perfect opportunity to go to Atlanta next year on a 4-year, $175 million contract.
We don't need him, mate. We got Hayden Hurst. He's going to rip it up, mate. Okay, last question to wrap it up. Easy one from Pharaoh of Fantasy, and that's Izzy. PPR, Hopkins, Adams.
Hopkins with Kyler Murray, right? I got that right? DeAndre Hopkins?
Yep.
Kyler Murray?
I'm going to write this one down. I'm going to see. Yeah. Hopkins or Adams. Who's in the
post pack and send it now?
That is so easy.
For me, it's easy too.
It is easy. Yeah. It's Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you, AJ. I'm on the Adams.
Well, if the rumours up in Green Bay are true and they do want to run the ball more, why didn't they go out and get a serious runner? I
was going to say, yeah, exactly. And why they get a real running back? Like they got AJ Dillon. Like, hey, he's a big guy, but
didn't they lose some linemen to the opt-out?
I think they did actually. At least one. Maybe.
But I mean, they've suffered the last few years with Jamal Williams, and basically being the same back as Aaron Jones. So it was like, let's just run the same back out, and see which one's the better. And they took nearly 3 years to decide that it was Aaron Jones. And then so at least they've got an alternative now that's a little bit different. But I don't really see the number one receiving target being any different. So I mean, Davante Adams again, another guy who should probably be seeing more targets, and particularly end zone targets. But I can't see how Nuke can outscore him when the Cardinals have 4 receivers on the field the entire time, and Kyler Murray's going to scramble around looking for the best option.
Well, when you're 5'3", you got to.
You have to scramble just to see over the line.
You do, yeah. Again, another hit in the back of the head.
That's the problem he's got.
The right guard.
But it's also the fact that I think this year, now that Nuke's there, and they'll get back guys like Hakeem Butler should be right. What anybody thinks of him, they've got They've got Fitzgerald, Hopkins, Kirk, Isabella, Hakeem Butler if he's good.
Keyshawn Johnson.
But but I think now you'll see him, the air raid offense, and they'll spread the ball around to whoever. I don't think it's not going to be the Texans sort of Hopkins. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see whatever it is, ridiculous 30% or whatever it is, the ball's going to one player. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work that way.
So surely then Adams is going to outproduce him, right?
Oh, without a doubt.
I mean, for me, I think it's interesting because Rodgers, I think, is going to go on.
I was going to say, Funchess is gone now. The signing they took, he's opted on the COVID. It's probably pretty good for his career. He probably looks a lot better when he's not playing.
But the two tight ends aren't really worth anything either.
We don't know what Sternberger.
Now Sternberger's on the COVID list, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, And then you've got Alan Lazard, who looked good at times last year, and Aaron Rodgers seemed to trust. But mate, in the end,
Aaron Rodgers might be throwing for Green Bay.
Yeah, but for this year he will be.
No, he won't.
You don't think he'll be playing this year?
Hell no. Did you not hear the interview with
the one with
Peter Schrager or Kyle Brandt? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was pretty interesting in terms of, the whole, I was surprised and, I poured my 4 fingers of whiskey and waiting for all the messages to come through Twitter. Like, I thought that was quite interesting. Like, I'm often fascinated. Yeah, I'm often fascinated by how seemingly distant from the, head coach and the GM people like that are. Like he doesn't sound like he's like having a weekly chat with Matt LaFleur or all that kind of stuff.
Peter LaFleur from Dodgeball. Yeah, no, I don't think they're. I don't think they're super close. Just put it out.
Which just, I mean, how do you win a Super Bowl like that?
Well, look at it. He's been in the league 17 years. They were 1 game or 2 games away. 2 games away last year, 1 game away the year before from the Super Bowl appearance. 17 years in the league, and he's only got 1 Super Bowl. When he won that 1 Super Bowl, you would have gone, you got to win 2 or 3, maybe 4. But they have never backed him with receivers.
Is he coachable though? I don't think he's coachable. I think he's like your Michael Jordan. I think like you just whoever the coach is, you just got to put him out there and just let him run the show.
You need to back him. Same as LeBron. Like LeBron's picking his players to come get him. To come with him.
When you said, is he like Michael Jordan? Well, yes and no. I mean, I think he's a bit of a jerk.
But it's not. Well, so was Michael Jordan. But it's not the point. It's not Michael Jordan because he's not the best player in the league.
He's not been in the right situation.
He's not the best player in the league. You can be whatever you want when you are so far at the top.
Right.
You can get away with a lot more.
Yeah. But he hasn't been backed in those crucial years where they've been.
I'm not saying I agree with you. He hasn't been backed at all. They haven't given him the weapons that he needed.
Exactly what he needs. And
I think it's interesting.
In the days of Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb, and whether or not you like him or not, Jermichael Finlay, who could have been a great tight end.
He could have been an alienation.
They were a far better team when he had those guys.
It could have been.
The interesting thing was as well, Mike McCarthy apparently was the problem. Like all the fans, all the Twitter was like, "Oh, it's Mike McCarthy the issue. He's not, making Rodgers give Jones the ball more or whatever it might be." But I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Aaron Rodgers is the problem. Like if he doesn't get his way, and if he doesn't get the decisions, he's not really going to be that interesting. He's going to do an interview like that where he's like, yeah, I'm surprised and all this. Yeah. And I feel really like.
But 17 years in, I think he's earned it.
Yeah, but at the same time, like like what they were saying about Frank Gore, like take the young lad under his wing and develop him and say, look, do all that. I mean, he had a shit time with Brett Favre, so he's probably like, fuck that. I mean, sorry, I'm not doing that. But you wish, right? You wish that someone like Rodgers would right now go, all right, they've Jordan Love, great. Let's just bring him in. I'll be nice to the kid. It's never going to happen.
Never going to happen because ever since Aaron went in thinking he was going to be drafted by the 49ers, being a Bay Area kid, California kid, blah, blah, blah. We all know the backstory. The fact of the matter is he got stuck in Wisconsin with the cheeseheads. But he did take him to a Super Bowl, and we've all agreed that he hasn't been backed. No. That's just the part of the problem with butting heads. I get it. He is a difficult situation. He's a type A personality, probably with some narcissistic tendencies, a little bit like the Prez. But you know what? He's the QB. You've held on to him for 17 years. You've given him, 4 contracts?
Yeah, I think what's going to happen now, AJ, we're going to wrap this up, but the reason he's not going to do it, he's going to say, screw you, Green Bay. You haven't done the right thing by me. So if you think I'm going to take a young QB underneath my wing and teach him the roads, well, you got another thing coming, because I probably won't be here next year anyway, so I don't really give a shit. I'll go. Some other body will pay me money, and I'll get surrounded by a team that wants me, a team that's going to give me weapons, and then I'll show you. Maybe by then you might be too old. I don't know. Yeah. But the dude's still got an arm, and he still knows how to play the position.
This might be a good final question.
Rookie of the year?
Yep.
From Matt? Rookie of the
offense,
year.
Defense, or both? Or just straight up?
Straight up.
Well, they don't go against each other, so it's hard to say Rookie of the Year, isn't it?
Because we can go offensive and defensive.
Well, I think with the Damian Williams thing, I think the obvious pick's taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So I'll pick him. Yeah.
I think you have to take a running back, because they're the ones that get the most opportunity, aren't they, really, in their first year? If someone's going to break out, it's usually a running back.
Defensive, I'll go Grant Delpit.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire has probably got a decent inside track on it now, you'd have to think, wouldn't you?
And I'll back Neil on Clyde. How long till he gets Clyde the slide, or slide and Clyde, or something like that?
Because you got to think that wide receivers, well, basically all the other offensive skill positions are going to be behind the 8 ball because of the lack of practice practice games.
How to practice contact. Yep.
Yeah. So they're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Running backs are like, you
carry the ball and you run.
Yeah. Find a hole, and this is we're going to
run. Yep.
Wide receivers, a little. Tight ends, forget about it.
Yep.
But saying that,
Chase also your defense.
Like Adam Troutman at the same
tight end.
No,
you get good money on that, G.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just thinking, as far as tight ends go, he may surprise a few people, because I wasn't that high on him, because but he's athletic, he's fast, he is tall, and if you have Jared Cook sort of taking, the best linebacker, whoever's covering the tight ends, or he's a blocker, and you let him Troutman run down the field, the dude's got some wheels. And he's got a quarterback who 9.5 times out of 10 is going to put the ball exactly where you want it to be. That's only from the tight ends. I'd have to give it to a running back, and you have to give it to Clyde Calais, because at the moment he's got the best opening gig, I reckon. No competition. Yes. Just based on that, not based on Damian Williams not being there. That helps, obviously, a lot. But yeah, probably the door's far more ajar for him to do something this year.
There you go, G.
There you go, G.
I'm not saying I'm not going to say he's going to be the Rookie of the Year. I'm just saying,
$1 on it.
You're not going to pick a tight end, but just.
I think two dark horses for me are one. I think DeAndre Swift in Detroit. I think there's probably an option there that he's going to get a lot of opportunity, and good players look even better in a bad team. And then your man AJ, I think Justin Herbert's going to start the year at quarterback, and as you've seen last year with Kyler Murray. I think they've got a plan for him, and I think that he's got, a great receiving core. He's got a really good running back core, and he's got a really great defense behind him as well that's going to give him opportunities. So those two, I reckon, are worth a punt on the offense.
Yeah,
I bet you Tua will get more Rookie of the Year votes than Justin Herbert, Ben.
We'll sort that out offline, mate. We'll put a little wager there.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Justin Herbert is the fact that I think what they'll do is they'll go into like a neutral game script. AJ probably know, but I think they'll want to let the defense be the one that they rely on more this year.
Yeah, so I think so.
If they can keep the offense, if they can slow the offense down, and just keep whoever they're playing against off the field as long as possible, that'd be great. That's what I just see. It's be more of a negative game script for the Chargers this year.
But Anthony Lynn's been there a few seasons now. You know, he's probably underachieved, even though I think he's a good coach. So surely he wants to make a splash. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they've lost out pretty badly over the last 2 years. You know, when they've had favourable schedules and, you know, on paper have had a good roster. So they've gone out and, you know, spent a bit of money and got a bit of capital in there.
But they weren't hampered.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, but like Herbert's got a cannon for an arm. There's no doubt about it. But the dude's
if you've got Keenan Allen and Mike Williams,
yeah, but
you're going to have to throw them.
Offensive line like AJ.
Offensive line's pretty good.
Is it? I was going to say because he's a little bit skittish under pressure.
It's not going to be the best offensive line in the league.
A college rookie, so a college player. So let's put him in with NFL guys now coming after him. So that'd be. I think they just want to take it a little bit easy. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him until at least the second half of the season.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
To be honest, so
I think so. I think Tyrod is starting.
Don't you think that's old school thinking though? Like nowadays, we're looking at an NFL where a quarterback is going to exist probably, you know, for 6 to 8 years. That's it. Like,
it didn't work with Patty.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, you know, that's Andy Reid. Like, come on, he's a master of that. I think teams can't afford to do that. That's what the Cardinals worked out last year. It's what the Jags worked out as well. Like, you just gotta, if you're gonna give a guy a go, if you're gonna spend a pick on a guy, see what he's got about him in the first year. He's got to play.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not going to play, but I don't think he's going to be starting. I think it's all going to come down to.
I don't think week one. I reckon you're going to see a repeat. I reckon you're going to see a repeat. Tyrod, Cleveland, Tyrod, Chargers.
You know, it's
week 3, week 4.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know whether it's the year. Like if we didn't have a COVID year, maybe.
Yeah.
But given the year, I don't think you do it. I think you just
injury depending.
Put Tyrod in there. You just kind of go that way. It's just not it's kind of not the year to really do it.
He knows the offense they want to run.
Yeah, exactly.
He's led the team to the playoffs at least.
Well, it's interesting though, AJ, because like in baseball, the opposite's happening. A lot of the baseball teams are bringing up young guys because it's like a free chance to get them experience. Like, you know, fast track their, you know, like education and, you know, actually this year, does it really mean anything? So, I mean, there's a bigger, I guess, injury. There's a bigger injury, you know, issue with the NFL. But if you're going to do it, why not this year? Because, you know, no one really is, you know, it's going to have an asterisk probably against the you know, the Super Bowl winners, a bit like Richmond. And then, you know, like all
the on this season until 2 days ago, and now I'm back on.
Has Neil got a bang in to bang?
Who starts first, Tua or AJ Herbert?
Tua does.
Or
mind you, you know, I was looking at it. The Finns bye, I think, is week 11. So if the thinking is that you're going to wait till maybe after the bye, perhaps. Oh, look, they might not even get to week 11. Who knows? What's that?
Seriously, at the moment, I'm struggling to see him having a season.
Yeah, I know. Well, if it keeps going the way it is, then it's
I
hard.
don't know how he can contain 90 players down to 80 players down to the 53-man roster of 32 teams and everybody associated with it without it getting in.
Especially in Florida.
Yes, especially in a country where they have more cases in someone's given street than we have in the whole.
But if we look at, say, we have a season, right? So, you know, who wants to win right now? The Chargers want to win right now. Miami don't. They've got 3 picks in the first round next year, and they're probably happy to try get another 1 or 2. So I think, you know, Miami are much more a work in progress than the Chargers are. So if Tyrod doesn't work after 4 or 5 games, I think they stick Herbert in. If Fitzmagic, you know, goes hot and cold magic, and then, you know, dead rabbit the next week.
Yeah, there's not always a rabbit in that hat, mate.
Yeah.
Buffalo want to win now because New England's on the ropes.
So yeah, I think Herbert before Tua.
Tampa Bay want to win.
I agree before Tua.
All right, shall we wrap it up? We've been going for almost 2 hours. We've almost done what we did last week, gee.
Half an hour short.
It was a long one last week. But it's been lots of fun, guys. Thank you for coming and joining us on a Friday evening. It's been fantastic. Been good fun.
You've been drinking, haven't you? I spark it up before we go.
Yes, I have.
This show.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us. Absolutely fantastic. It's been absolute blast. Go back and do whatever. Ben, go and maybe rewatch the game and find out where the Bulldogs went wrong after they kicked the first goal. I have no idea.
1 hour 46 minutes, G. What took you that long?
Can I just say
that's what she said.
Just a fend off, mate.
Just can I have a little moment? The young bloke who kicked the 8th fastest goal in AFL history the other night, young Brad Close, number 45 for Geelong. He is one of my best mates' nephews, and a little quiet shout out to him. It was a big day for him. He's a mature age recruit coming out of Glenelg. They're Glenelg Tigers. They won the premiership. So a little shout out to B Close for a first goal in AFL, first kick, first goal, first mark. So not bad.
Great club.
Nice.
Great club.
Hey?
Nice part of the world, Glenelg.
Glenelg, yes.
Won a premiership last year and gets drafted by Geelong as a mature age recruit.
Free. Those days. I remember those days of being COVID free.
when we could have in-house drinks.
Anyway,
that's right.
Smirnoff has been great tonight. Thank you, Smirnoff, for your support.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, G. Thank you, AJ.
Thank you, G.
Wrapping
up. It's been fantastic having you guys on, and thank you if you've been tuning in and listening. And this gin, I was having a G&T tonight, G. So someone's gone to my head, I think. But thanks, everybody. Enjoy your Friday and keep safe. You know, it's a couple of bad days in Victoria in a row, which hasn't been nice. But
5.1 million to go, and then we'll be right.
Yeah. So yeah, keep yourself safe and don't do anything silly, and we'll just ride this out, hopefully. So enjoy the rest of your Friday and enjoy your weekend. And till next time, thanks very much. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Play some Pantera or something.
Get ready for stage 4 lockdown, boys. Get ready for it. It's coming.
I need the week off.
Catch you later, everyone.